In this today's session, we are going to discuss about the prep one part two task. Okay, so here I request all you to enter your doubts in the chat box. So that will be clarified at the end of the session. Okay, so this is a case study, right? Yesterday we discussed it. Yes, yes, Shiva. I will let you know. Okay, in the last I will tell you how to find that. Okay. So yesterday we discussed about Mr. Anthony, who is an NRI, has a idea to develop a website, right? Which is devoted to the fashion, which mainly focuses on the accessories, right? So he collaborated with the stakeholders like Bhaskar, Kathy, and so here there were already existing system is there, which lacks the user and user friendly application and lack of knowledge on the fashion of the customers, and there is no customer reach as well with the existing system or application, right? So here there were the these are the problems they are facing. Okay, so to resolve those, so they are going to implement the another application. So here, like a team members are there, and so these are the committee members like project head, and if you see here, and like we do have the delivery head and project manager as well, and Java developers to write the code for the application, and also to maintain the network, we do have the network admin, and for the database administrator, we have. And here you will be the business analyst for this project. Okay. So here this is the first question we have. Like the first question will be create 5 quarterly audits for this project. Audits in the sense it is the inspection of work whether the project is aligned with our goals or not. Okay, so we do check the progress of the project, where actually it is what the work has done till now. Okay, so in waterfall model you have different stages, right? Like a requirement analysis and gathering phase will be there, and designing phase, development phase, right? Testing phase, deployment phase. So these are the stages we have. So in each and every stage, separate in the organization, audit team will be there. So they will conduct audits on the work progress, so that they will verify whether the project is going aligned with the project goals or not. Okay, so here if you observe the template, here you can see audit. So for in the first phase, in the requirement gathering phase, like uh, you need to add the duration, complete a time like within the 10 weeks, like from week 1 to week 10. So this requirement phase was done. So in the duration, in the project, like what we had done. Okay, so I've been after gathering the requirements from the client, so we should work on the documents, right? We should prepare the few documents like VRD documents, FRD documents, SRS documents. So whatever the documents we prepared and whatever the work we had done, okay, that we need to prepare, and we need to report them to the audit team. Okay, so BRD template and illustration technique, whatever you had applied, and what requirements we gathered from the client, stakeholder, and also we need to do the sorting to remove the duplicates, right? So that duplicate requirements report also we need to submit to them, and the communications, like how communications will be done. Okay, so these all things you need to make a report, and we should submit to the audit team, and they will verify, they will check the work progress. Okay, so that you should come to know, like, where actually we are. So similarly in the audit two, quarterly audit two also, look in the requirement analysis phase. So within the duration, like what we have done, like if you observe here, like few examples, like we have prepared after working, after preparing the documents. So what we will do, so we will design the UML diagrams to represent it visually, right? So and we will convert the business requirements to functional requirements, and then we will take the sign off from the client, means approval from the client what the functionalities that we should implement in the project, right? So and we will maintain the RTM document to trace the requirements. So that's how we need to prepare the audit. And well, coming to designing phase, like within the duration, like what we had done, also in the designing phase also we will design the like uh, wireframes or mock-ups, each and everything will be done, right? So we will use few tools for that. So like those mock-ups are where prototypes will be used to get the feedback from the client also. Based on that, we will start our implementing the code for it. Okay, and what are the discussions or meetings we did? So all those things will be made as a report. Okay, so each and everything, like whatever the work we have done, that we should submit to the audit team in the form of report. Okay, so that's how we need to prepare the audits for each and every stage. Okay, here if you see, like for the audit report will be there for the development phase and testing phase. Okay, so the it's a team. This is how you need to prepare the audits. To the first question. And while coming to the second question, BA approach strategy. So how BA involved in the projects, okay, how BA involved in the project and how BA himself contribute to the project implementation. Okay, before the project initiation to till the end of the project, like how BA contribute himself as a project, himself in the projects. Okay, so first of all, before the project initiation, like we will conduct a different analysis to understand the strengths, weaknesses, and each and everything regarding the organization. Like we do conduct the enterprise analysis, right? We do conduct enterprise analysis to understand the business needs, and we will conduct the SWOT or gap analysis and feasibility study whether it can able to deliver the product or product to the client within the timeline and budget or not. So these all things will be done before the project initiation. So once the project is initiated, like we will meet the client to gather the requirements, and at that time we will apply few illustration techniques, right? So what illustration techniques to apply? Like we do have different illustration techniques. We do have total around 11 illustration techniques we have. So in that, like for this project, like how, like, what kind of illustration techniques will you prefer? Okay, and you can add some of them. Okay, so based on your perspective, you need to add the illustration technique. What illustration techniques that would you prefer for this project? Okay, and how to do stakeholder analysis? So stakeholder analysis nothing but like identifying here a RASI matrix. This is the technique we use to analyze the stakeholders. So RASI matrix is nothing but it is one of the technique which will be used to identify the stakeholder and as well as to assign the roles and responsibilities to them, right? So here the acronym of RACA, R stands for responsible, and A stands for accountable, C stands for consulted, and I stands for informed. So in the previous task also, which is a prep one part one, there is a like stakeholder analysis is there, like sixth question, right? So that's how like you need to define who are the stakeholders comes under responsible stage and accountable like that. Okay, so that's how we will do the stakeholder analysis, and after collecting the requirements from the client, what kind of documents we should prepare as a BA. Okay. So here we will prepare like BID document, FRD document, BID in the sense business requirements document, and functional requirement document, use case documentation, test case documentation, and solution or system requirements documents, right? And business cases documents. So all kind of documents we will prepare once we gather the requirement from the client. Okay. So that you need to add. And what processes to follow to sign off on the documents. So after preparing the documents, we don't directly implement the those requirements in the project, right, in the application. So we should take the sign off from the client, we should take the approval from the client. So if client says okay, then only we should start working on it, right? Then only we will start implementation for the uh, project, right? So that's how we need to take the sign off from the client. That is a important one. And uh, like how sign off will be taken, like we can, the sign off can be taken by the using mail or confirmation by the client, right? So that's how I need to add. And how to take the approval from the client. So generally we should conduct the meeting and we should explain like what actually we are going to implement, what actually we are going to deliver to the client. Okay. So that so after conducting meeting, after discussions on the requirements, if client is satisfied with all the things, then he will then we should take the approval from it. So if not, again we will work on the requirements, and then we will take the approval from the client so that we can start the working, right? We can enter into the like another stages. So what communication channels to establish and implement? So like once the project is initiated, like we will regularly meet the client, so to give the update and to provide the status of the project, right? So those are the communication channels. And how to handle the change requests. So once the project is initiated, if client comes to you with the another requirement which is already implemented in the project, okay, which can be considered as the in scope. Okay. So like we should note down the like that requirement or change request, and we should take the permission from the project manager, and we should conduct the impact analysis and estimation. Like estimation impact analysis means like so how this change request will impact on the current system which is implementing. Okay. So how impact it will create to the system, and estimation like which time and like how much duration it will takes, and will it increase the budget or not. Okay, each and everything will be calculated. And feasibility study also, whether we do have the resources or not to implement that feature in the system. Okay. So after that we'll prepare the one report, and then we'll submit to the project manager, and based on the report, like we'll decide like whether we need to add the change request to the system or application or not. Okay. So that's how change request will be handled. So and well, coming to how to update the progress of the project to the stakeholders, like after any meeting, like we will prepare the MOA meeting, right? Minutes of meeting and weekly status reportings. So everything will be reported and will be submitted to the client. Okay. So that's how we will provide the update of the project. Okay. And how to take the sign off on the UAT. So UAT, user acceptance testing. Here, like after implementing the application or software for the client, so here client should perform the testing on it. So for that, while testing, if client founds any issues or bugs, so whether for instance, if it is not according to his business needs, then we should work on it again and we should fix the bugs. And then again, UAT will get conducted. So if client says everything is okay, so then we should take the sign off from the client. Okay, and then the project or application will be deployed into the production. Okay, so that's how is the BA approach strategy in each and every stage. Okay. So from the project initiation to end of the project, like how BA contribute himself. Okay. So what are the activities BA should perform? Okay. And while coming to the third question, explain and illustrate three-tier architecture. You know, three-tier architecture is a software designing pattern which is used to divide the sort of components. Okay, implementation components. So it is divided into three tiers. One is client tier, business logic tier, and database tier. So in the client tier, if you see like only the user interface, okay, only the front end part will be implemented in this tier. Okay, so for example, if you are using any e-cart application, so now you are going to login. Okay, now you are going to log into the application. So like system asks you to enter your username and password and then click on the login option, right? So here, how however you are interacting with the system, okay? So that will be the front end part, okay? You can see the update and you can perform the actions and you can click on the buttons. So those interaction will be there through the this client tier only, okay? So we can interact with the system through this presentation layer, okay? And business logic in the back end, whatever the details like username and password is there, so that will be like once you click on the login option, so in the back end internally the verification will be done, right? So the for that verification, the internally business in the business logic tier, the code will be implemented. So this business logic tier will act as interface between the client tier and database tier. Okay, once you enter your login ID and password, so in the business logic tier, it will be connected to the database tier. So to get to fetch the details, okay, whatever you had entered. So if those credentials are valid, then it will update you in the client tier like your login is successful, and then it will display the home page. If not, like it will pop up say invalid credentials or error message, right? So that's how it will works, and everything is internally related. So the main thing is here, it is used to define the software components so that they can implement effectively. Okay. So in the database tier, like all the data related, like databases, like each and every data will get stored. So for that also, like it will. So later on, all these tiers will get combined. Okay. So if you observe here, like application layer or client tier, only user interface components will be implemented, and business logic where the actually logic, okay, like code, okay, software code will be implemented. And in the database layer, it is responsible for the storing of the data, right? Storing and as well as retrieval. Okay. And while coming to the fourth question, here write about the approach strategy for framing questions. So framing questions are nothing but like as a BA, while gathering the requirements from the client or while gathering the feedback from the client. So at any situation in the projects, so we should apply a few techniques. Okay, we should apply few techniques like we do have like 5W1H technique, smart technique, and RASIM matrix and UML as well. So here 5W1H is nothing but it is a tool or technique to gather the information or requirements from the client, and to it is mainly used to collect the complete requirements like 5W1H, in the sense like who, what, when, where, and why, and how. One is how. So for example, like who are responsible for this task, okay, what are the resources are required to implement this requirement, and when it will be implemented, like where actually it will reflect, okay, and why should like why this requirement should be implemented, why this requirement should be added to the project, and how it will get implemented. So this how like to example, okay, this is example for that. So, and while coming to the smart technique, the acronym of smart technique is specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. So here we will apply the smart technique for each and every requirement, whether it is feasible or not. So specific, whether the particular requirement has a specific meaning or not, and it can be measurable or not. It can be delivered so within the timeline and budget or not. And attainable means like whether we can achieve to implement the requirement in the project or not. Okay, that we will check. And relevant, will it relevant to the project or not? Okay, so if it is necessary to the project, then only we will add. If not, like we should ignore it. And time bound, like within the time bound, like duration we will set, right? So within the timeline of we can able to deliver or not. Okay. A RASI matrix, like a responsible, accountable. So like whoever comes under these like these stages, like who are responsible for the task, who comes under accountable, like each and everything will be should know, and we should add. So that's one of the technique as well. And UML, like UML is a unified modeling language. It is a language used to uh, visualize or model the requirements. Okay, so here we will use this UML language to design the diagrams, like use case diagram and activity diagrams. So whatever the requirements we had collected, so we should represent them like visually, like how it will be added in the system, how actors will interact with the system, what are the functionalities are there, okay, how the workflow will be there. So each and everything will be represented visually, so that like stakeholders will get understand in the organization. Okay, so that is also it also plays a crucial role, and that's how team that's how we need to add. And I'll coming to the fifth question. So here, write about the various illustration techniques you are learned in the workshop. Workshop in the sense like I learned all completed all the training sessions, right? So in the training session, like what are the illustration techniques you will discuss it. So illustration technique is nothing but like it is a like meeting or any interaction with the client with a specific objective. Then only we call it as a like illustration technique. And here we do have illustration techniques like brainstorming, document analysis, reverse engineering, focus groups, observation, workshop, jar session, interview, prototypes, questionnaire or surveys, and use case specification. So these are the 11 illustration techniques we do have. Like each and every one illustration technique importance, right? So in the fifth question, you need to write like what actually this illustration technique is, what does it mean, and when it will be conducted. Okay, what is the purpose of conducting that illustration technique? Okay, so in the fifth question, you need to add the information about all these illustration techniques which are mentioned here. Okay, and while coming to the sixth question, which illustration techniques will you use in this project? Just for your opinion. So among these illustration techniques, okay, among these 11 illustration techniques, which illustration techniques will you prefer? Okay, like what illustration techniques do you think which are useful in this project? Okay, So those illustration techniques you need to select it from these 11 illustration techniques, and you need to add it in the sixth question. And also you need to add the justification, like your opinion why you had selected those illustration techniques, how and how it will be helpful for your project, like for this project. Okay, I hope you got me. So that's all about the fifth question and sixth question. And seventh question, like you write 10 business requirements, and nothing but like is a high level requirements which are given by the client, right? So based on the business requirements only, we will require business requirements or business needs. So based on these only, we will work on the requirements, and we will implement these requirements or needs in the project, and we will implement the application for it, application or product. Okay, and we will deliver to the client, and that should meet the criteria as well. Okay, so here if you observe here like examples of business requirements. So here you user should log in if you want to access the application. Okay, that is a, one of the business requirement. User can able to choose multiple payment options to do the payment. Okay, that is also one of the business requirement. Okay, so that's how you need to add the 10, at least 10 business requirements by considering this case study, this task. Okay, you need to add the business requirements. And question number 8, like write about four assumptions based on this project. Assumptions are like so which can happen or not. Okay, so by considering these assumptions also, we should keep it in the mind, and we should work on the requirements. So for example, like stable internet, you can consider stable internet connection. So user or actor should have stable internet connection to access the application, right? So that is one of the assumption. And user can able to log in through multiple accounts. Okay, so that is also one of the assumptions. Okay, so that's how we need to add the assumptions based on this project. And ninth question, like if we say project requirements priority, so whatever the requirements that you had added, okay, like what are the business requirements that we have. So for that, you can use this template. So if you observe your requirement ID, requirement name, and description about that requirement and priority. Okay, how will you give the priority? So here business requirement ID and the requirement name. Like if you see, like for example, like any login is there. Okay, requirement name will be the user login, and description, like user should be able to create login, or user should be registered. Okay, user should have the account, then only he can able to log in. So that's the description about that. And for this requirement, like as a BA, how will you give the priority? Okay, from 1 to 10. Okay, how will you give the priority? So that you need to add. Okay, and when coming to the 10th question team, like you need to design one use case diagram. Okay, this is the like one of the UML diagram. So as we discussed, so whatever the functionalities we gathered, that we should represent in the like high level format to make stakeholders understandable in the organization, like how the interaction will be there. Okay, how the system will works. So each and everything will be represented visually. Okay, so this use case diagram is nothing but which provide the high level representation of the interaction between the actors and the functionalities in the system. Okay, so so let's say, let me share that you do. So go to the YouTube, and search COEPD. Okay, such as COEPD. Okay, so then you will get the YouTube channel. Okay, so here you have videos, right? Go to the videos, and here also like all the recorded sessions. Okay, okay, all things you have, and here you can just search on it like MS Visio. Okay, MS Visio or use case diagram you can search. So here you can see like the tools are explained here, like how to use it and how to design those diagrams, or else you can directly search as use case diagram. Okay, so so these are the videos we have. Okay, please refer these videos to design the diagrams. Okay, and that's how you need to design the diagram and take the snapshot, or just copy the whole diagram and add it in the document. Okay, while preparing it. Okay, Shiva, you asked me one doubt like regarding the like you just missed yesterday's session, right? So that session also available in that YouTube channel only. Okay, refer that. Okay, so yeah, 11th question like use case specification. Okay, use case specification. Use case specification is nothing but it is a kind of document which will be prepared to maintain the detailed description about the each and every use case. Okay, so in the like previous question we have like use cases like view items, make purchase, checkout, plan register. So these are the use cases. Okay, so these are the actors. Okay, these are the actors, and this oval shape we call it as use cases, and this rectangle this is called system boundary, and these connections will be there, right? This one. So these are like like relationships. Okay, these are the relationships which will be connected like between the actors and use cases. Okay, and these are the include relationships. These are the given between the uh, use cases. Okay, so based on the situation we will use the different relationships. Okay, so kindly refer to that YouTube channel so that you will get the idea. Okay, so that you can easily understand and you can easily design the diagrams for it. Okay, so here use case specification. So for this each and every use case we will maintain the use case specification to provide the detailed description like each and everything. Okay, regarding that use case, regarding the functionality. Okay, so if you clearly observe this template, so here you can see like in this template we do have the use case ID. Okay, what actually the ID for the particular functionality or use case or system, and what is the use case name, and created by and updated. uh, Okay, like who are the customers who can interact with that functionality. Okay, so those are the actors, and description like you need to add the like use case description and preconditions, post conditions. Okay, preconditions, post conditions. Uh, if you want to access that functionality, then what are the preconditions that we should meet? Okay, and after accessing it, like what are the post conditions will be there? And the normal flow or basic flow. Okay, basic flow like so without any errors, without any interventions, like what would be the like workflow to access that. Okay, what will be the workflow to perform that action. Okay, and alternate flow is nothing but like if we face any errors, okay, which we can fix. Okay, if we face any errors while performing that particular action or accessing the particular functionality, so what would be the alternate flow? Okay, to access it. And exceptions are nothing but like if we face any errors that we can't fix, okay, that from the system side or anything. Okay, So that we can consider in the exceptional flows and the frequency of use and assumptions as well for that particular functionality. So let's say like consider a login functionality. Okay. So that's the use case name and actors who can like who are the actors who can access the functionality login like everyone should use the login functionality, right, to access the application. So here like end user will be the actor and vendors or manufacturer also will be the actors. Okay, based on the project. Okay, based on the project, like we should add it them and description. Okay, so this is a login functionality. Preconditions like so if you want to log in, we should have the account. Okay, we already should registered for the application. Then only we can able to log in, right? And post condition after logging into the application, it should display the home page, right? And normal flow like user it asks for the user to enter the input like to enter the username and to enter the password as well, so that we'll click on the login option and then it will display the home page. So that's a basic flow for that functionality. Okay, that example. So alternate flow, if we say alternate flow, like if the password is invalid, okay, if the password is invalid, so then it will show the error message. Then we should again re-enter the password, or else if we forgot the password, we do have the forgot option also to change the password, and we should perform that activity. And later on, we should navigate to the login page again, and we need to enter it that updated password, and then we click on login. Then it will get successfully logged in to the application so that we can access it, right? So that would be the alternate flow. And exceptions are like which we can't fix, like any internet issue or any database issues like to retrieve our data. Okay, and any system issue, network issue, like that. Okay, those are the comes under exceptions. So that's how you need to add the use case specification document. Okay, for each and every use case. So here you need to add at least 5 use case specifications. Okay, for 5 use cases you need to maintain the like at least 5 use case specification you need to add it in the document. Okay, and the last question is please prepare 5 activity diagrams. Activity diagrams, this is also one of the UML diagram which will represents the workflow of the system. Okay, so for each and every action, how system should respond to the actor or user who are accessing that application or the system. Okay, so each and everything will be represented visually. So if you observe here, here this is how, like if we use MS Visor tool, this is how the diagrams looks like. If you design the activity diagram, so first one will be the initial node, and the this one we call it as activity. Okay, so here we do have the like here this is a payment process. So this the for each and every functionality. Okay, for each and every functionality, the workflow will be different, right? So the workflow will be different. So we need to design the activity diagrams for different functionalities. For login, the workflow will be different. For registration, the workflow will be different. For making payment, the workflow will be different. For adding product to the cart, the workflow will be different. Okay, so that's how we need to design the activity diagrams for different functionalities. Okay, so this is the example for the making payment. So if we say like the payment process initiated, then user can select any one of the option like using debit card or UPI. Okay, and then payment mode selected, and here payment is successful or not. If it is successful, like order will be placed. So if not, it will goes the workflow here how it is navigated, right? So the flow is added to the like previous activity. Then means it will navigate to the like previous pages. Like again, we should select it. Okay, so that's how we need to design the activity diagrams. Okay, and if you see like for this case study, you can use this. Activity diagrams like a user registers, how user will register. and such products, add the products to the cart, okay, and making the payment and how it will be delivered. So for each and every functionalities, the workflow will be different. So for this activity diagram also, you can refer the same YouTube channel. So within the same video only, here you can see. So if you search as activity, okay, activity diagram, then you have the okay. So within the see here, this is the activity diagram. Okay, so please refer to these things. Even though if you use MS Visio or Data.io, both the videos are available. So this is the for Data.io, and if you use MS Visio, this is the video. Okay, so you can check it. Okay, and that's it, team. And that's it. I'm done with the session. So this session is completed. So if you have any doubts, please let me know.